So let's talk marketing KPIs. ROAS, ROI, CPA, CPC, CTR, CVR. Is that all of them? Whether the economy is soaring or stagnating, savvy marketers are the ones that use data to stay ahead of the curve. And that's why I'm here, to take you through all of these top KPIs, the 3 main reasons you shouldn't rely on ROAS, and introduce you to the lesser-known metrics that marketers should be measuring. So, marketing KPIs. Let's start with our first, CPC. So CPC is one of the best measures of efficiency, but while it tells us how cheap our traffic is, it fails to consider the quality of users clicking on an ad. For example, say you sell luxury jewelry. Would you rather get a lot of cheap traffic and people not really interested in converting? Or would you rather pay more per click for quality consumers that have cash to spend? CPC is a metric to help us understand competition or the impacts of changes we make to platforms. But beyond this, there's not really that much value that CPCs can offer anymore. So if this is the only metric that you're optimizing on, make sure you set up conversion tracking so you can upgrade to CPA. Optimizing on CPA helps campaigns generate as many conversions as possible. But while generating conversions is a worthy goal, not all conversions are equal. Again, let's go to our jewelry brand. One simple bracelet is not equivalent to selling the biggest, shiniest diamond tiara that you have. So if you're to optimize on just CPA, you'll lose sight of the different revenue that each click can bring. Now, if we want something a bit more nuanced, that's when we can move on to ROAS. ROAS. Arguably, this is what most marketers optimize and report on right now. Return on ad spend is the advertising-specific version on return on investment. Simply put, we measure how much we make for every dollar we spend on ads. Some marketers will calculate this as a percentage, while others will use their local currency, but it can also just be a normal number. As with CPA, we use ROAS to understand which campaigns, ad groups, ads give us the most bang for our buck. Great, so that's it, right? Marketers can live happily ever after with this new perfect acronym. But unfortunately, it's not quite so simple as that. In fact, there are 3 big issues with ROAS. Let me explain. Issue number 1. ROAS is decoupled with volume. Imagine that you're the CMO and your team reports that your ROAS is at a new high of 3 this month. Great, but you have the sales team at your door and they're complaining that sales are much lower than last month. What's happening here is that if you only focus on ROAS, you can lose sight of other metrics and start sacrificing on volume. So your ROAS can be too high, but it can also be too low, even when it looks profitable. And that's when you need to look at incrementality to understand if you're still generating value when you increase your advertising spend or push your campaigns. The short explanation on incrementality is that it measures the additional results of campaigns, either when you scale spend or comparing a campaign to no advertising at all. That's the incremental difference in performance. But back to ROAS. If you work with ROAS, you've got to find that Goldilocks zone. Not too high, not too low, but just in the middle. So ROAS focuses on short-term revenue. So the customer journey does not end when one item is purchased or one deal is closed. This is where lifetime value, or LTV, comes in. LTV is the estimated amount a customer will spend with your business throughout their lifetime. For example, a customer purchases a simple bracelet for $20. Doesn't sound like much in terms of revenue, but if you reframe this to look at your LTV, one new customer might purchase many times in their life. Maybe if you get them to buy really early, you can make sure that you are the brand they consider for the bigger purchases. And this could bring your LTV for an average shopper from that $20 up to the thousands, which is pretty significant. So LTV is a very powerful and a real step beyond ROAS. The final key drawback of ROAS assumes perfect attribution. And I could get into a rabbit hole about attribution and the issues there, but in fact I already did, so that's in a blog post linked in the description too. But to keep it simple, one customer may first discover your brand through a Facebook ad, and then weeks later they see an influencer talk about you on YouTube. So they Google your brand, click another ad, and so on and so on and so on. But it's not until a few days later that a display ad reminds them about you, and they make their first purchase. This messy user journey here is not the exception, it's the rule, and it's called the messy middle for a reason. We can't attribute every dollar of revenue generated to specific ad campaigns, and yet ROAS attempts to do exactly that. Your upper funnel activities and brand awareness will always be treated less favorably with ROAS, and without these activity, your growth can stagnate. So negativity over, let's talk solutions. We need a more holistic metric that helps us understand marketing as a whole, and the answer is MER. That's Marketing Efficiency Ratio, and it deals with the total revenue divided by the total ad spend from all your marketing channels. It is similar to ROAS, but the difference here is that we're dealing with totals, so no breakdowns by ads or channels. ROAS is like taking a magnifying glass and zooming in on all the details. It can be helpful, but it may also lead you to miss out on the bigger picture. MER is the missing metric, which is all about understanding your long-term strategy and seeing how your marketing efforts collaborate together for better results. So what do I report on? We can't entirely reject ROAS and keep from checking CPCs, but we need to instead analyze those numbers with fresh eyes, be aware of the potential pitfalls, and view them side by side with metrics that matter. Incrementality, LTV, MER, go get started with those. But what do I optimize ad campaign bid strategies on? This video is trying to flag the downsides of ROAS, not to make you panic to change your bid strategy in Google Ads. For most lower funnel campaigns, with good quality data feedback into ad platforms, target ROAS is your best strategy for Google Ads right now. But we should strive to improve that revenue part of this calculation. Here are some ideas that can help you do that. Maybe use lifetime value instead of basic revenue. Maybe make these values dynamic and tailored to each customer, or tailor them to each region. Try those and it might help your performance. All right, enough talking. So my key takeaways. Start thinking more about your long-term business growth instead of just the short-term marketing metrics. ROAS is on its way out, and MER, incrementality, LTV are the ones that are coming to the forefront. Start using these metrics, understand where to drive growth, understand your marketing, and improve campaign performance, and I'm sure you'll impress. If you found this video useful, like and subscribe, and we'll help you stay on top of all the marketing trends out there.